Mr. Ru?
Hey, John Rubbo. John, nice to see you.
Thanks for
We are
having me.
here in the heart of your district.
Yes, we're here on McLean Avenue.
McLean Avenue and Kimball. We're going to walk down and we're going to talk about the improvements, what has been done, the quality of life for the people of your district, and talk maybe to perhaps some of the business owners. Are you ready for the walk?
Absolutely, come on.
So let's do it.
All right.
So, John, through the years, when the people from your district talk to you, what was the main concern for them?
You know, really, what we have focused on in the last 8 years here is just the quality of life of our community. You know, that's what people are mostly concerned about. Those are the calls that we get. You know, whether it's something that has to do with a tree or litter on our sidewalk or dumping or, you know, these quality of life issues, those are the ones that people really care about, and that's where we try to jump on. You know, we're very fortunate, especially here on McLean Avenue. We have such a vibrant business community, and we need to maintain that quality of life. So we need to be sure that our streets are clean and it's easy for people to come and park and patronize our businesses. And that's what our focus has really been.
You know, every time I have an interview with one of your colleagues, the other council people, I always emphasize that to most people in Yonkers, not all, but the majority, they don't understand the complexities of budgets, loans, buildings, construction, and what's involved in it.
Right.
But one thing that every single person, regardless of the district that they're in, they understand is quality of life.
Right. Right.
They all understand that.
Right.
And they all want the same thing. Now, talk about the quality of life. Give us an example. I know you just did garbage, pick up. To them, those are the same problems? Or do they have the rat problems here as well as they have on other places?
Yeah, I mean, we have that here just like any other community. I mean, we are surrounded by rivers, whether it's the Bronx River or Hudson River or Sawmill River or Hutchison River. We do have that problem, and those are things in our neighborhoods that we deal with. You know, not far from my home here in this community, you know, people have started to see some rats. Maybe there's construction happening in the neighborhood and they start to come up out of the ground and they're unnestled. So, you know, those are the things that we deal with. We work with Public Works to go out and make sure they're baiting the sewers and keeping an eye on trash and garbage. And then the homeowners are doing their part. You know, they're hiring exterminators. They're making sure that their properties are well maintained. The garbagers are covered. But yeah, we're dealing with that same issue just like anyone else is around the city. And here, you know, we're very fortunate. We are in one of the safest cities, if not the safest city in New York State, right? And so when it comes to safety, we're fortunate that we're often not talking about robberies and burglaries and shootings and stabbings. When we go to our community meetings, you know, what we're talking about is maybe somebody's going around checking the car door at night, or some auto-related issue on Bronx River Road. And that's where the police department, with their precision policing, they jump right on it. There's some new technology that the police department's using right now, and some of it has to do with the cameras that are installed around the city, which help them have an 80% solve rate on crime. 80% of crime in this city gets solved because of.
But John, before we go too much further, let me ask
Sure.
you something about the quality of life and the reason for my question.
Yeah.
Because I talk to people everywhere in Yonkers, McLean Avenue, South Broadway, North Broadway, Elm Street, Elliott, Hamilton, all over the place. And one of the biggest complaints is rats. Oh, but the other areas, they don't have that problem. And my point is, no, we all have that problem.
We do. We all have it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's not like some of the council members care more about this area because of whatever reason
Right.
than the other area because of the other reason. We all have that problem.
We do. You know, rats are something that we have in the city. You know, we see, you know, field mice upstate. Here in this urban area, we have rats. But we, we handle it. We work with Public Works. There's money in the budget. We've set out some large traps in strategic areas, and we're able to catch the rats.
But crime is a little less on this area.
Oh, crime. Well,
no.
I want to say crime around the city is well maintained, and we have our little pockets. The police department does an excellent job at addressing that, and through their what they call precision policing, they're able to identify when and where, and they can predict in often cases where they may see spikes in crime. And that's why they're able to jump on it and maintain the quality of life in this city.
Look, another thing that people talk to me often, it's about parks. Okay? I know there is a park here in the area.
Good, how you doing?
Good.
You guys have something to say about the councilman? And
We love him.
no, you're already on it.
Oh, come on. No, we're just hanging out here. You're
Thank
great.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your support and helping us
Anytime.
with the reservoir and everything.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man.
Thanks.
Bye.
So, in regards to parks, but the parks on this area, they get maintained. Parks on this area, they don't get maintained. Is that some type of a schedule going on?
I will say that parks around the city have had they've seen a huge investment under this mayor.
Go ahead.
Good.
Go ahead.
Under Mayor Spano, the parks have seen a huge investment and emphasis on our park system. The City Council, we've invested tens of millions of dollars into both renovating parks, improving parks, and we see them all across the city. And quite honestly, we really see a lot of it on also the west side of Yonkers, west, east. Go to Andrus on Central Avenue, you see renovation. You come here to Stillwell Park or our park right here on Kimball Avenue. Parks all over the 4th District are improving. So we're investing money into our park system. And, we have over 40 parks, right? And nearly 80 playgrounds and ball fields. And it is a vast park system. So we, as a park department, I think they do a very good job at getting out and they try to maintain these parks on a schedule. We just need, we need our residents to chip in, and as a community here, we do see that at many of our local parks. They chip in. People in the neighborhood, they'll put a piece of litter into the garbage bin, and that's really, it's what makes our community so great because, they realize that they can chip in and just make the entire community better.
I tell people all the time, this is not your city. You might be our representative. It's
Right.
not their city, it's our city.
Our city, absolutely.
So chip in.
Right.
Do a little bit that you can to make the city a better place for all of us.
Right.
But coming back to the parks, I think the current park commissioner and also the animal shelter commissioner or director, I don't know what's the correct term, is doing a great job to improve the quality of the parks. There was one park right here on McLean that just got renovation, correct?
Right over at Connor Park, where the 9/11 memorial is. Okay.
Now, let's move to housing. How is the housing situation affecting your district?
Well, the cost of housing is expensive. Apartments are expensive. And oftentimes we're finding that it's running up well over 30% of a person's income. It's typically 30% is where you expect your housing costs to fall. And it is running up. And so what we're trying to do is, I think there is a supply and demand issue. And so we've seen housing built on the west side. We've seen a lot of buildings go up on the west side. Here in my district, we saw that many years ago with Bronx River Road. Bronx River Road has many large buildings. Some of them are co-ops or condos, and some are rental. And so we have seen more affordable buildings here on the east side of Yonkers and did many years ago. The area is certainly surrounded with more single-family homes, but we have a diversity of housing here. on the east side. I think just relatively speaking across the entire city and even across the state is we need more housing. You know, to meet that demand and to get the cost down, we have to build the supply. You know, here in Yonkers, I think we're doing our part, and you know, we certainly need people to do their part all across the state of New York in order for us to meet that demand. Now, I'm not running for governor because
Well,
I'm talking about New York State.
But you might be running for something else. We're going to talk about that soon. Close it. And so, John, you're not running for governor.
No, I'm not running for governor.
But you know what? I have interviewed the current mayor, Mayor Mike Spano, multiple times in the past. He told me, kind of a promise, that he's not running for mayor anymore. It's done. Somebody new has to take over. I have seen the work you've been doing, and it gives me an indication, not just to me, John, I have to be honest, that a lot of people are seeing you as a strong person for the next mayor of Yonkers. Don't give me that political thing.
No, I won't give you a political answer.
No,
I
the
mean,
political answer, you know, I'm not focused on that. And Mayor Mike Spano, we all know that Mayor Mike Spano is still there.
yeah.
We know that we have a long run. But is that part of your plan? Are you in your vision? Is that a possibility, sir?
Well, politics is very much a place of timing, and so what's important to me is I have an election in November, and I'm seeking the support of people in the community to be reelected in November, and that's my goal. Is I'm focused on November, and the Mayor Spano has 2.5 years. We'll see what happens and where the Democratic Party wants to go in 2.5 years. But right now, you know, I'm focused on November.
But my question was not about your focus. My question was about your plan. Okay, even though we are focused on owning a house, and we see that house in a long time from now, but we start saving those dollars for that house. So it's not part of it is part of the plan, but it's also part of the vision. Now, Mayor John Rubbo, is it part of the vision? Things can change. We all know that things can change dynamically one day to another. But is it part of your vision?
Well, my vision is focused on November. After November,
I'm trying, guys. I am trying. Okay, you guys know that I love exclusives. I'm trying to get an exclusive from John Rubbo based on what people think, John.
Well, I appreciate that, and you know, it's humbling because you know, not everyone has an opportunity to see the work and stress that goes into being the mayor, and I think Mayor Spano's done an excellent job. Oftentimes, you know, people only get to see the flag raisins and ribbon cuttings, and yet he has a ton on his plate. You know, often, just this past Sunday, we started off at 7:30 a.m. with the marathon in downtown Yonkers, and I had a few events that day. He had many more. And he didn't finish up until almost 9 p.m. that night after the Untermeyer Gardens or Conservancy's gala. You know, so it's a long day on Sunday, and he puts those days in every single day, and it's a lot of work. And I think he's done a great job to move the city forward. But like I said, my focus is November. Let's focus on November once we get through November, and then we see where the world takes us.
You know, I tell people all the time, when we look at the championship, we look at the Olympics, we see those people on the podium with the gold medal, you know, hands up, very happy. But we have no concept of the work involved to get to that point.
That's right.
We don't see that. We have no idea of how much hard work it's involved in order to get that gold, small piece of gold on your chest.
That's right. That's right.
So now we're going to sit here at the park, and we're going to talk about the casino, that it's coming up, where it stands right now. So let's take a little break for my cameraman to relax the arm,
All right,
and
perfect.
we continue our conversation. Deal?
Excellent.
John, the casino is coming up. It's on the works, it's ready, money is going to start to flow into the city. But how? is that casino is going to benefit the city. We're hearing good things, but we're hearing from people that are not happy with the traffic condition that the casino might cause, and a whole bunch of things. So, but like we said earlier on the other segment, we see the work done at the end of the day, but we have no idea of the concept that it took to accomplish that task.
Yeah, the casinos has been at the forefront for me as a city council person this last year. It's something we've talked about even before the pandemic, hoping to see that, there'd be improvement to the property. MGM came in, they purchased it from the Rooney family, and they have owned it, I believe, since 2018 or 19. And so here we are just a few months away from hearing whether or not New York State will give us a full gaming license. And I've heard from the community, and there are community members who want to see a full gaming site. There are community members who have lived here for 40, 50, 60 years in this community. They remember when Yonkers Raceway had 30,000 people on a Friday night pouring in and out within just a few hours. And so we've seen that. We've seen as it dropped to just a few thousand visitors as the Rooneys were transitioning from Yonkers Raceway to Empire City Casino. And since then, we now have 3 million people that visit this property every single year on a monthly basis. It brings in and out of the casino between money spent and gaming revenue that's goes out to winners, almost $700 million a month. And so from that, the school system has benefited $19.6 million a year for the last 18 years since the casino opened. And when I go to community meetings, people will say, well, John, what does this mean for our property values? What's going to happen to our property values? And I don't have a crystal ball. I can't quite say for sure that property values will go up or they will go down. But what I can say with all certainty is that we've had a casino in our backyard for 18 years. And, for those who have purchased property even in the last 10 years, have seen the dramatic increase in value of properties in this community and really all around the city of Yonkers. And so what's important is that we protect our quality of life. And that means ensure that we have additional police officers, ensure we're dealing with flooding, ensure we're dealing with traffic, and mitigate these issues that we could potentially deal with here in the city. And so this project is doing that. MGM will be paying the city of Yonkers $2 million a year for a full-time 24-hour sector car with 2 Yonkers police officers in it. And so that'll be added to the 2nd precinct, which is a huge benefit to the city, and it's really a home run for this community. In addition to that, Empire City Casino, MGM will be invested almost $80 million when it comes to infrastructure on their property and surrounding their property. And that includes almost $4.5 million just to improve the traffic lights, and how the traffic lights talk to one another. And if you've driven around the city, sometimes you may, go from green, the next traffic light turns red. So the synchronization will be updated, the traffic flow will be upgraded. And, not just that, but, we have the commitment of our mayor to ensure that as things are up and running, as they continue to progress, there'll be a commitment from the city to stay on top of these things and ensure that, we're protecting the quality of life of our residents.
Now that you spoke about the lights, traffic lights, one of the big complaints that I get about these traffic lights is the one by the 87 overpass. It's a 5 minutes traffic light. Are they going to address that, or that is part of the plan? It's that way on a purpose.
So as certain intersections around the city are controlled by New York State. Yonkers Avenue is a state thoroughfare, and so much of that is controlled by the traffic by New York State. With that said, we're working with New York State, our traffic engineers here in the city of Yonkers, and they will ensure that this $4.5 million goes as an investment into upgrading this infrastructure. Not to get into too much detail, which I often can do, if a light is out of sync, it means that the timing is off. So how does the timing go off? We don't notice, but Con Edison has a small little brownout. So the power disconnects for just a split second, and then it throws off the timing. In order to improve or correct that, someone from our Public Works Department has to go out to the intersection, go to the local box, correct it, and just ensure that now all of these intersections are back working. This $4.5 million that'll be spent for traffic, it'll help streamline these operations. It'll bring them sort of into this century, so that this way it is much easier to upgrade these traffic intersections and help the flow of traffic, through the city and around this area. It's not just a few intersections. I mean, we're talking well over 20 intersections that'll be improved, and almost 50 intersections as far as Midland Avenue and Bronx River Road and all the way down to the Sawmill Parkway that have been studied. So the study area was vast when it came to traffic.
John, I don't know if I already asked you this question, but what about Mayor John Rubbo? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Back to it.
I'm just kidding. John, let's say we're sitting here at this park 10 years, 15 years from now. You just said you don't have a crystal ball, neither do I. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know if we are around. But you might have a vision for Yonkers. If we are here 15 years from now and we're looking back or looking, and what would we say? Are we happy with what Yonkers turned out to become? Did it fulfill my vision? Tell us about your vision for the city of Yonkers. Not about any specific position within the city, just a vision for your kids, my kids, grandchildren. How would you see Yonkers 20 years from now?
So, we're here as elected officials for a split second. If you think, I often think about the tens of thousands of council members there are around the country. And we are fortunate to represent each of us as council members, maybe 40 or so thousand people in our district. And we're here for a split second. And if you go to anyone in this park right now and say, well, who was the council person in 1980? They may not be able to tell you. And likely they probably can't. But that person in the 80s put all of their time and effort, just like we do today, into trying to advance the city. And what will it look like in the future? And that's what we try to do. We're laying the pavement so that in the future, the city of Yonkers will continue to flourish. How I want to continue to see Yonkers flourish is we need to create jobs, we need to create housing opportunity, we need to create this affordability. And I really do believe we're doing that with MGM Casino. We're going to see over 1,400 new jobs added. That will average $150,000 a year in payroll and salary, and that's huge for our community. That our average salary is $80,000 for a single person. So adding 1,400 jobs that pay $150,000, we can look back, hopefully in 10 years and say, we really help families now here in Yonkers with this property. We've maintain the quality of life.
So we're laying the foundation for a brighter future.
Always. That every single day that we go walk into City Hall, that's what we're trying to do.
John, we could stay here talking for hours, but I know you have work to do. I thank you for taking the time. You always do. You've been on Yonkers Voice many times in the past. You always make this possible. And I hope that you continue to do so. Now, in closing, is there anything that I forgot to ask you that you might want to bring it up?
Oh, I think we really hit on everything. When as council people, and certainly, as I've served as a council member, my focus is in our schools, it's on our quality of life, and it's just on moving the city forward. And we have a great partner in the mayor's office. Mayor Spano's done a great job at doing that. And he listens to each of our vision, as council members, because he knows that we each represent the diversity of Yonkers. in our council districts. And so we have a great partner in Mayor Spano. It's great to work with him. He's given me a seat at the table as we negotiated MGM, and I commend the mayor. Mayor Spano did an excellent job at helping pull together really what I consider is a great community benefits package for the city. One of which, he called me one day and said, "What do you think if we can convert the Lincoln Park Synagogue into a community center and library?" He said, "Come on, meet me over there." We walked the property, and it was just a perfect thing to be able to contribute to the city.
Vision. You had a vision.
It was perfect vision. And so it's that sort of collaboration and work together that we're able to do that helps move the city forward, and that's all we ask to do.
So Yonkers is moving forward. On that note, we're going to conclude our interview, but I want to remind our friends, Mexican friends, that Mexico today is celebrating its independence.
Right.
There is a flag raising at the City Hall today at 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock, yes.
I believe it's 5 o'clock, right?
Yes.
At 5 o'clock. So guys, come on down, celebrate with the City of Yonkers the independence of Mexico. This is not just for Mexicans, it's for everyone. So City Hall is our city hall, Yonkers is our city, so come on down and celebrate the independence of Mexico. Are we done?
It's up to you. I could talk all day, but thank you very much for the interview.
We are done, guys. Just one last thing. I want you to remind you all that Yonkers Voice does not endorse or oppose any candidate. We interview, we invite our elected officials to come on to talk to our followers so they can engage, ask questions, understand, because not everything is as it seems to be. Okay? There is much more work involved in accomplishing very simple tasks, very simple things. And many people don't understand. I sometimes don't understand. But when I have a sit down with the council person, with the councilman, or the mayor, he explains what we're hearing and what we understand are two different things. But now we have the chance of engaging, asking questions, and if the councilman has time, he will address those questions on one-to-one basis based on the time that he has to answer those questions.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Fair enough, sir?
Absolutely.
Until
Thank
next
you.
time, thank you for following Yonkers Voice.